Hello, welcome back to the Armenian Museum of America. I'm Gary Lind-Sinanian, the curator. And I'd like to share with you the stories of one of our objects today. This house, which was designed by Dioramas. The house is actually part of a much bigger picture of Armenians after the Armenian Genocide. The traumatized survivors, when they spread around the world, they often try to recreate or some sort of keepsake of the homeland, so a memento of it, or try to recreate it where they settled. My wife's grandfather always had a grapevine planted to remember his home in Sebastia. The famous Armenian folk singer in New York, he had landscaped his entire backyard in Yonkers, so it looked like an Armenian countryside with Mount Ara in the background, a little church and the whole 9 yards. This was his way of trying to keep Armenia alive. Other ways were, I once mentioned to Yanov's widow, Nerat, that I was going to go visit the Armenian Museum in Connecticut. And Nerat said, "Armenian Museum, where's that?" And I said, "No, it's owned by Chester Mergian." "Chester's garage with all that junk?" So I went to visit Chester. He had an Armenian museum in his garage, and he had models of churches and newspapers and clippings about Armenia. Basically anything Armenian could get his hands on. He would try to save this as a way of saving a part of his homeland. This was created by Dioramas of Arlington, who lived in Arlington, Mass. And he came from Arabia. This is Dioramas right here with the house. And he was by profession a tailor, which is another story in itself some other time. But again, this impulse to try to recreate Armenia. He created this house in the 1950s, and this is a reconstruction of a house in Arabia. And it shows the various kinds of things in the house. You have dovecote on the top to raise doves. You have the rollers to roll off the roof. You might dry Bastomer on the roof. When it's very hot in the summertime, so you sleep outside, you bring your Johann up a ladder, and you sleep up so any kind of breeze cools you off, a baby carriage. And the house opens up. Most houses, doll houses, would be open in the back, you reach in order to move the things there. But Dioramas was a little bit more clever when he designed this house. And so what he did is he put it on hinges. So the whole house opens up, and you can see the interior furnishings of a typical home. And because he was a weaver, and he dealt with cloth all the time as a tailor in America, he put a loom in there showing how they made cloth back in Armenia as a typical weaving loom there. And so this was a keepsake of our care. And on the back of the house, he actually has a written out a poem in Armenian, which is, I'll have to read it for. This is called I'm reading the English translation, not the original. Lamentation for Arabkia. Arabkia, my sweet native place, Armenia, my fatherland. Your totality is my paternal home. Everything is my father's homeland. The mountains high as the sky are the walls of my home. The starry sky is my roof. The streets are my walkways, your neighborhoods are my rooms. Your valleys are my windows. The Turks are the predators from beyond. The snakes that enter, the scorpions that infest, the caterpillars that devour the roses. The garden fades away. Oh, my dear Armenia, your final solution is burned into my heart. The faces of my parents, brothers, sisters, relatives, friends, neighbors, classmates, and cross-bearers, they haunt me. That's a poem. This is a lamentation for his last hour here. They'd seen his whole family killed, and as I said, many other of the survivors tried to recreate on their own terms some piece of Armenia. This is, nowadays, of course, we approach things very differently with the internet, but for this generation, this was how they did it. The Armenian Museum is here to share our stories and history with you, the public. We thank you for joining us, for listening. We hope you join us again. Until then, stay safe.